guys wouldn't, as it shows.
But in hindsight,
as it shows, you got lucky that Tucker's dyslexic.
Did I get lucky, or did you guys play well?
Some of Adam's talking points that were honestly driving me crazy, and I'm not even involved in the situation, but I just hate stupid arguments. So I completely understand why Taylor wasn't having any of this. What is up, everybody? So yesterday we had the amazing race review, and it was a spicy episode because of the public U-turn vote, and Taylor wasn't happy with her alliances with Jag and with Joseph, basically voting her into the U-turn. Now, at the time, Taylor was being hypocritical because she burned a vote on Izzy and Paige, even though she was crying about how the guys are doing better in the game and there's only so many girls left and they have it harder, only to vote for Izzy and Paige. So Taylor was a hypocrite there. However, I still think what got lost in all the voting was Joseph and Adam's stupidity and Joseph not playing to win the game. Well, Joseph and Adam did a live, and Taylor ended up joining the live along with Kylan, even though Kylan was irrelevant to the drama that transpired on the live. But I did want to touch upon this live because Taylor was clearly still upset about the votes. And I understand why she was upset with Joseph and Adam, who are coming across as weak and playing to lose the game. And Taylor also wanted Joseph to stop trying to put it all on Adam because they were the ones with an alliance coming into the game. Then Joseph decided, I guess, his alliance with Jag was stronger. Let's just listen into some of this live first, I guess.
Adam basically starts telling me, and I guess you guys can kind of see it, like, whatever. Jailer's cracking up, Jailer's doing whatever. And Adam starts looking at me and he goes, hey, buddy, like, snap in. Like, I've seen you on Big Brother. And he starts basically telling me I need to space you two. So he's using that as justification. Like, it's better for us if you two aren't here.
This is some bullshit. Own your shit, Joseph. You're just putting it all on Adam. I've heard this. Because I heard the same shit. I've heard the same shit.
I'm not putting it on Adam.
Look, we have not sniffed the first. Like, not sniffed it, not touched it, not anything.
Y'all are ahead of us.
Taylor,
So first of all, Taylor was not loving all of the excuses from Joseph, saying he didn't want the three-way tie. Taylor is upset on this live with Adam and Joseph because they are word vomiting by trying to come up with different reasons as to why they made the decision they did make. And after hearing some of these excuses from Adam that we're about to hear, I have to take back what I said in my review yesterday because I don't actually agree with their reasoning. I said in the review yesterday that to get three teams into the U-turn did make sense if you are trying to stay in the game. If Joseph and Adam were looking at this vote and the perspective of the U-turn, that sending three teams into disadvantage makes their chances of advancing this round better. That is logical. But Adam is saying he did it to guarantee either Jag and Jess or Tucker and Eric go home. But if that was the idea, putting Taylor and Kylan down there with those two teams was a huge, stupid risk. Putting Taylor and Kylan against the two teams that have been the best two teams by far so far. Like, literally, they've been in first place every time, either Tucker and Eric or Jag and Jess. Despite the one time Natalie was in first place, it's only because Jag and Jess gave them first place. So the logic here with what Adam is saying does not make any sense. And you're going to see Taylor get more and more annoyed with their talking.
I was like, look, it's two teams or it's three. So I was like, we're going to U-turn three, and then I'm going to pray to God that Jazz and Jag and Kylan and Taylor work together and send Eric home.
I understand completely why Taylor is annoyed here with the excuses and why she feels the way she feels about the whole situation. Because if the goal was to get out either Jag and Jazz or Tucker and Eric, the obvious thing to do is to give both of those two teams the U-turn. Putting a third team in the U-turn that has not been doing nearly as well as the other two doesn't actually make sense, because the odds were that Taylor and Kylan were going to go home, and that's what almost happened.
But if it was an Izzy and Paige and Chelsea and Jack, I would not U-turn them, because they would go home against Eric and Tucker on a U-turn.
And also,
you guys wouldn't, as it shows.
But in hindsight,
as it shows, you got lucky that Tucker's dyslexic.
Did I get lucky, or did you guys play well?
Did you see us at the Olives shitting the bed?
And then you smoked them.
Let's say, like, oh, we, you know what? Maybe we should just let two super strong teams go against each other.
It's easy for Adam to use hindsight that Tucker and Eric did go home, and that's what we wanted. But he's also saying he wanted Jag and Taylor to work together to eliminate Tucker and Eric, but that didn't happen because Jag and Jess were killing the U-turn. Taylor said that they got lucky because of Tucker's dyslexia, which it was a close call, that last challenge of the race with the Greek alphabet. Tucker and Eric were so far ahead of getting there to the alphabet first that Tucker had 9 attempts before Taylor had 4 attempts at the alphabet. So it was a very close call, and I think that's why Taylor is upset and not really buying these excuses of, well, it was actually the best decision because Tucker and Eric did go home, but it only happened because Tucker decided to do the alphabet when he's dyslexic. And Tucker stands are now upset at Taylor too for pointing out that Tucker is dyslexic. But I mean, if that's what he is, it's the truth. And I mean, we have to hear about Adam's diabetes every episode that he uses as a shield, quite frankly. And, you know, I felt sorry for Adam that round 2 episodes ago when they almost went home and should have went home because they didn't even have a penalty for being last place that round. Because like I said yesterday, having a vote against them automatically was not a punishment for this public vote, because nobody was going to vote for the team that just was in last place to get the disadvantage. That doesn't make any sense. But let's listen in a little bit more to some of Adam's talking points that were honestly driving me crazy, and I'm not even involved in the situation, but I just hate stupid arguments. So I completely understand why Taylor wasn't having any of this.
I knew I was not winning the Amazing Race with Eric and Tucker and Jazz and Jack in the show. I needed to take a gamble and send one of them home, and that gamble was your life, your team's life. And I'm going to stand on that, and I will take that gamble every time.
Because look, I know I'm not crazy. What Adam is saying makes no logical sense. He really wanted Eric and Tucker to go home. That's what he's saying. But he's also saying that he knew he and Joseph, or they're both saying that they knew that they couldn't win the game if both Tucker's team and Jag's team were still in the game. So if that's the case, the best decision was those two teams going to the U-turn, because adding Taylor and Kylan to the U-turn was this huge risk. And both Jag's team and Tucker's team could have stayed, which literally almost happened. Despite Tucker's dyslexia, it was only 1 round away from finishing the alphabet before Taylor. Just minutes separated that final. So in the end here, with this heated argument and some of the heat that Taylor's getting online, I'm totally on Taylor's side. And I stand by what I said in yesterday's Amazing Race review. This has to be Joseph's last reality show. He plays to lose, and it's same for his brother Adam. He needs to be a one and done, because his strategy here to me makes no sense. He wanted one of the 2 strongest teams gone, but let's put in a third team that might go home instead. It's playing to lose the game, in my opinion. He can use the hindsight that Eric and Tucker going home means he was right, but with minutes away from that not happening, it was almost worst case scenario for every team left in the game that both Tucker and Eric and Jag and Jazz stay in the game. It's still a bad scenario because I don't know how any of these teams beat Jag and Jazz like I talked about yesterday. I would have respected it a lot more if Adam and Joseph would have just owned their shit, which is what I think Taylor wanted them to do. And if they would have just said they put an extra team in the U-turn, they voted for the tie because that means they were going to stay in the game. Like, that's the logical thing to say. That would have been a logical thought process. But all these excuses Adam has been saying about the decision doesn't add up. And I'm glad Taylor was actually on their necks about this. It was actually nice to see. And apparently, The Amazing Race has been cutting out some of the drama from the situation. Apparently, Kyland and Jay got into it a lot after these votes, which they didn't put in the episode. We could have used more drama coming out of the votes, but I guess we have to rely on lives for more of the drama because CBS reality shows have decided they want to be as boring as possible these days. I don't get it. I never will get it. But that's the choices they've decided to make on their reality shows lately.